to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page so you can watch it on demand. Today is February 26, 2019. And now the news at noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, a Colorado man who caused a chain reaction car crash that killed a woman and her 3-year-old son has been sentenced to 13 years in prison. According to the Office of Jefferson County District Attorney Peter Weir, Chris Kumsil pleaded guilty to child abuse resulting in death, reckless vehicular homicide, and vehicular assault in January. Kumsil initially faced charges of DUI vehicular homicide after testing found THC in his blood, indicating marijuana use. Prosecutors dropped these charges as part of a plea agreement. Prosecutors said 5 cars were stopped at a red light in Lakewood on November 13, 2018, when Kumsil, who is 46, rear-ended one of the cars and caused a pileup. The crash killed 43-year-old Anna Huffman and her son, Jason.
From the Durango Herald, photo of paper straws. Anyone remember using them? From notonthehighstreet.com. In Colorado, Representative Susan Lontine abandoned an effort Monday to limit the use of plastic straws in the face of opposition from environmental activists and advocates of local control. House Bill 1143 would have required that certain restaurants only offer plastic straws upon request. Drive-through restaurants would have been exempted from the requirement. Lontine, a Democrat from Lakewood, advocated for the bill as a simple step to limit so-called single-use plastic or plastics that are used once before being thrown away or recycled. The bill was backed by the Colorado Restaurant Association and McDonald's Corporation, according to Colorado Secretary of State records. But Republican lawmakers, environmental activists, and Front Range communities were all dissatisfied with the bill and claimed that it either went too far or not far enough. Lontine's bill would have imposed a state standard for plastic straws, but would have also prevented local cities from regulating straw use themselves. Representatives from the city of Boulder, for instance, objected to the HB 1143 because it would prohibit the city from banning plastic straws. Boulder was backed by environmental activists who said Lontine's bill would be difficult to enforce. Ultimately, it was a battle over local control that doomed the bill. Representative Lori Sain, Republican from Dacono, proposed an amendment that would have given municipalities the right to opt out of HB 1143. The amendment passed, and Lontine asked to have the bill postponed indefinitely.
From the Cortez Journal, a man was arrested in Mancos last week after being charged with trespassing at one residence and burglarizing another just a few hours later. On Wednesday, Mancos officials received a call from Cortez Dispatch at 5:47 p.m. asking them to respond to a reported criminal trespass at the 100 block of East Sunset Drive. After arriving on scene, a Mancos officer spoke with witnesses who said that a man had walked into an unsecured residence and stayed inside for several minutes. The man in question would later be identified as 44-year-old Shadrach Mikitiuk, who has previously faced charges of motor vehicle theft. Mikitiuk was taken into custody and charged with first-degree burglary, according to Goodall. He was also charged with first-degree criminal trespass for the earlier East Sunset Drive incident. Mancos officers also discovered that the stolen property was illegal and narcotic-related, Goodall said. Amanda Wright, the 31-year-old resident of the North Mesa Street home, was taken into custody for possession of a controlled substance. Both Wright and Mikitiuk have hearings set for later this week at Montezuma Combined Courts.
Reported in the Durango Herald with file photos. 2 Durango residents have pleaded guilty to abusing a child to the point that the child is likely to remain in a persistent vegetative state, that according to court records. Andrea Wynn, age 35, and Morgan Abbey, age 35, pleaded guilty to a Class 4 felony charge of child abuse. Wynn permitted the child to be placed in a situation that posed a threat of injury to life or to health that resulted in serious bodily injury, according to her plea agreement signed February 13th. She faces probation to 90 days in jail. Abby caused serious bodily injury to the child, according to the plea agreement. Quote, further, as a result of the victim's injury, she's likely to remain in a persistent vegetative state, according to the plea agreement he signed February 13th. He faces probation, community corrections, or 4 to 12 years in prison. Both are set for sentencing at 9 a.m. May 10th in the 6th Judicial District Court in La Plata County. According to an arrest affidavit, the 4-year-old child suffered substantial bruising and brain bleeding as a result of child abuse. The child was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center in January of 2018, unconscious and seizing. The child was flown to Denver to receive a higher level of care. The injuries were considered life-threatening. Police say Abby spanked the child with a collapsible metal baton and pulled the child's feet out from under her, causing her head to hit the ground and a wall. It was one of many instances of child abuse police discovered in their investigation, according to the affidavit. Wynn and Abby told police the day of the incident that the child's injuries were the result of roughhousing between siblings and accidents around the house, according to the affidavit. But police had their doubts, especially because Abby was the suspect in a similar incident in 2009 that left a 3-month-old child with a broken arm and brain bleeding, the Durango Police Department wrote in its arrest affidavit. Those familiar with the family poked holes in Wynn's and Abby's story, saying the parents have a history of child abuse. Police interviewed the victim's siblings, Abby's former partner, the child's step-grandparent, people who knew the family from church, and the doctor who treated the child on the Front Range. The child's step-grandparent said his grandchildren never roughhoused and that the child's brother treated her like a princess. Abby's former partner said his behavior changed greatly when she told him she was pregnant and that he made a statement about hurting the child if she didn't get an abortion. In an interview with police, the victim's siblings described a pattern of abuse that became more severe when Abby came into their lives. The children, when asked what happens when they get in trouble, said they get spanked with a belt, metal spoons, wooden spoons, and the metal side of belts. Both the parents would hit the children in the face with the metal baton and a whip that hung on a wall in the living room, the children told police. Police found the whip while executing a search warrant at the home in the lower 100 block of Westwood Place. The victim's grandmother said the child had to sleep in a closet. Police found a bed inside a small closet that, quote, appeared bent and in bad shape during their search of the house. Churchgoers who knew the family said the children would flinch when people moved a hand near their head, and that Wynn would scream at her children and hit them in the back of the head, according to the arrest affidavit.
From the Durango Herald, on her way to court last week, just before she was sentenced to 12 months probation in 2 cases of meth possession and 2 traffic cases, Marque Lopez was a passenger in a vehicle that allegedly contained meth. A Cortez Police Department incident report states an officer pulled over a silver Dodge truck on West Main Street because of a defective brake light about 2:13 p.m. on February 13th. Out of 4 people in the truck, the officer reported that 3, Roy Neshkahi, Lopez, and Robert Williams, the driver, had a history of illegal drug use. Williams told the officer he was taking Lopez to court at 2:30 p.m. in about 15 minutes. The officer asked if there is anything in the vehicle he needed to worry about, to which Lopez said no, they were headed to court. Police drove Lopez to court so she would not be late while other officers searched the car. According to the police report, officers found a bag of meth and 2 syringes under Neshkahi's seat. Also in the back seat, an officer found a bag of men's clothing with a .45 caliber handgun. Under the front passenger seat, an officer found 2 meth pipes and additional syringes. A passenger named Tonya Labedo was arrested on a felony warrant for larceny and a felony investigation hold for impersonation. Williams was cited for defective brake light, no driver's license, no insurance, and an open Bud Light beer can in the back seat. Neshkahi, a convicted felon, was arrested on suspicion of possessing a handgun and a controlled substance. The bag of meth weighed 1.7 grams. According to the police report, the truck was towed. After police drove Lopez to court, she pleaded guilty to possessing meth in a December 2018 case and was sentenced to 12 months probation. As part of a plea deal, a February 2018 meth possession case was dismissed. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map features that storm over Northern California continuing with many feet of snow forecast in the Sierras, with several feet possible near Mount Shasta. Meanwhile, record warmth continues for the Florida Peninsula, with the rain and thunderstorm pattern moving inland further along the Gulf Coast states. North to the Central Plains, our storm system has regrouped with rain and freezing rain set along the low-pressure front. The band of snow across the northern border with Canada continues to add more snow to an already struggling northern tier of snow-filled states. Regionally, the low pressure currently off of the Pacific Northwest coast is forecasted to deepen, causing the wind pattern to become more southwesterly over the central Rockies. This will steer the better moisture north of the area, leaving just high clouds across the region today. This flow will also allow the temperatures to moderate by a few degrees compared to yesterday. Tonight, an increase in the moisture comes into the area, only resulting in more clouds. Tomorrow, possible precipitation over the high country during the afternoon. Most should stay over the northern and central Colorado mountains and remain fairly light through the overnight. Tomorrow night, some of the moisture could create mountain snow showers, and by Thursday morning there could be 1 to 4 inches in the Elkhead, Park, Flat Top, and Elk ranges. But looking at our local DCTV 5-day outlook, it's warming up a bit with possible rain or snow or rain mix not until the weekend. So today we have a sunny day with a high near 38. Tonight partly cloudy with a low around 23. Wednesday partly sunny with a high near 43. A little breezy with Wednesday night mostly cloudy and a low to 25. Then Thursday mostly cloudy again with a high near 43. South winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Thursday night mostly cloudy with a low to 28. Friday partly sunny with a high near 43 again. Friday night mostly cloudy with a low around 26. And then into the weekend, Saturday a chance of snow showers before 1 p.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers with partly sunny skies and a high near 42 degrees, no accumulation expected. Saturday night, a chance of rain and snow showers before 2 a.m. and then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 31 degrees. Continuing on Sunday, a chance of rain and snow showers, cloudy with a high near 44 degrees, and Sunday night, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 26. And now, back to the news.
From the Durango Herald, the flu vaccine is doing a relatively good job this season, protecting about half the people who got it, U.S. health officials said Thursday. Preliminary figures suggest the vaccine is 47% effective in preventing flu illness severe enough to send someone to the doctor's office. Health officials are generally pleased if a flu vaccine works in the 40 to 60% of people. These are early estimates, but they are encouraging, said Dr. Alicia Fry of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Somewhere between 10,000 and 16,000 people have died from flu and its complications so far this season, according to new estimates released Thursday. Last winter was dominated by a nasty kind of flu, and the vaccine's weakness against it was one reason it was the deadliest flu season in at least 4 decades. An estimated 80,000 Americans died of flu and its complications. This winter, in most parts of the country, most illnesses are being caused by a somewhat milder virus that vaccines tend to perform better against. Overall, flu is widespread in 47 states, according to the most recent CDC data. Health officials don't know if flu season has peaked yet, Fry said. They also are seeing evidence that a more severe flu virus is spreading to more states.
An article in the journal AP Photos, AP, and Senator Cory Gardner's office. President Donald Trump says he's nominating a Washington veteran with lobbying ties to U.S. energy companies to lead the Interior Department. David Bernhardt, currently Interior's acting head, would replace Ryan Zinke if the Senate approves his nomination. Zinke resigned in December amid ethics investigations. Trump tweeted Monday that Bernhardt, quote, has done a fantastic job from the day he arrived. The Colorado native first served in the department under President George W. Bush. He had been a deputy under Zinke. Bernhardt also worked as a lobbyist and lawyer for several oil and gas companies and other interests that sometimes have regulatory matters before the department. Senator Cory Gardner, Republican from Colorado, said in a press release that the nomination was, quote, fantastic news for Colorado. I've known David Bernhardt for many years and have worked closely with him over the last 2 years to advance Colorado priorities. As a native Coloradan from the Western Slope, David knows how important public lands are to our state and has a keen understanding of the issues Coloradans face every day. From moving the Bureau of Land Management to the West to promoting conservation programs like the Land and Water Conservation Fund, Coloradans will be lucky to have David lead our Interior Department. Bernhardt's nomination in 2017 to be the Deputy Secretary of Interior was supported by several stakeholder groups in Colorado and across the country, including the Colorado River District, Colorado Water Congress, Southern Ute Indian Tribe, Outdoor Recreation Industry Roundtable, and the Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Partnership.
According to the Cortez Journal, last week's storm hit Mancos particularly hard, leaving plenty of snow for kids off from school to enjoy, but also abundant snow removal work for road crews. According to Deputy Michael Morris with the Marshal's Office, the snowstorm dropped about 20 inches of snow in Mancos from February 20th to 22nd. Hazardous driving conditions began Thursday with a semi-trailer sliding off the north side of U.S. Highway 160 near Willow Street that night because of road conditions and mechanical failure, Morris said. The semi-trailer was pulled out Saturday, causing Willow to be closed for a few hours. Driving was also messy within the town itself. Ice and packed snow throughout town caused traction problems for some vehicles, Moore said. Colorado Department of Transportation and Mancos road crews were hard at work removing snow and maintaining roads, he added. In order for CDOT snowplows to make their way through the streets, most vehicles were moved from Grand Avenue.
From the Durango Herald, photo Herald on file. Is it a conflict of interest for the Environmental Protection Agency responsible for the King mine spill to lead the Superfund cleanup of mine pollution around Silverton? The last company to operate a mine in Silverton, which is also possibly on the hook for cleanup costs, seems to think so. Sunnyside Gold Corporation on Monday sent a letter to the Acting Inspector General for the EPA, Charles Sheehan, asking that the EPA be investigated for its part in the Superfund site and ultimately be recused as the lead agency in the cleanup. Conflict of interest is clear, Kevin Roach, Director of Reclamation for Sunnyside Gold, wrote in an email to the Durango Herald. EPA caused the Gold King spill, which led to the Superfund listing and resulted in the EPA being the defendant in multiple lawsuits. EPA did not immediately respond to requests for comment late Monday. Roach said that the conflict has made the EPA incapable of cleaning up the site in an even-handed manner. As an example, Roach said the EPA continues to not run the temporary water treatment plant, currently taking in only Gold King mine discharges at full capacity. He said that instead, the EPA has focused on more, quote, endless studies, allowing hundreds of millions of gallons of untreated water into the Animas River watershed. Roach also said that the EPA is improperly targeting Sunnyside Gold to, quote, engage in useless investigatory work costing millions. EPA's application of Superfund as a weapon against SGC is an abuse of power and contradicts the purpose of Superfund, since it has been proven that SGC has only improved water quality in the area, Roach wrote in his email. The Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site was declared in the fall of 2016. Ever since, Sunnyside Gold has challenged the cleanup project.
According to the Cortez Journal, a new report says the ongoing renovation project at Denver International Airport could be delayed up to 10 months after tests show weaker than expected concrete in the main floor of the airport's terminal. The Denver Post reports the airport spokeswoman Stacy Stegman says the extent of the delay and the severity of the problems won't be known until at least April. That's when more testing of the concrete is expected to be complete. A preliminary estimate by Great Hall Partners, the private consortium carrying out the $650 million renovation project, is that the concrete issues could delay the project by 209 workdays. That would equate to about 300 days when weekends and holidays are added in, or about 10 months beyond late 2021, the original target for completion.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. February 28th, there's an open house to celebrate the new location of the Good Samaritan Center for Food Pantry in Cortez. That'll be from 4 to 6 p.m. at 30 North Beach Street. And here in Dove Creek on Thursday, February 28th, it's the Dove Creek Schools Recognition Assembly from 3 to 4 p.m. Monthly assembly recognizes students and staff who represent the Bulldog pride and traits. Each month, a different trait, such as responsibility or honesty, is selected, and the student who exemplifies that trait the best during the month is selected to be honored. The January trait was effort. And also this Thursday, February 28th, a free painting class will be held at the Dolores Public Library from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Join them for a free all-ages painting class at DPL. Thursday evenings, they're once a month from 6:30 to 8 p.m. No experience is required, and they provide all supplies plus refreshments. Space is limited, so drop by the library to sign up at the circulation desk or call them at 970-882-4127 to get on the list. And all these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.